20 years navigating the razor's edge in places most folks only see on late-night newsreels. Deserts that bake your insides. Jungles thick enough to devour silence. Cities that pulse with threats hiding behind every door. I led elite Delta Force teams, the absolute sharpest tip of America's spear. I thought I'd finally bought peace when I walked away from it all. I traded combat boots for work gloves, satellite phones for cow fencing, and missions for morning chores. What I didn't realize was that conflict sometimes puts on a different uniform: a pastel polo and a clipboard. My name is Noah Briggs, 45 years old, and up until 6 months ago, the name Phantom was more familiar to me than Noah. After 2 decades in the shadows, I came home to the open light of Central Texas, to the 15-acre patch of earth my grandfather worked with his bare hands. It wasn't much to look at: a farmhouse that groaned when the wind picked up, a barn tilting west like it had secrets to whisper, and fields that rolled toward a sleepy creek lined with cypress. But it was mine. And more than that, it was quiet. Granddad had planted a massive oak near the house the day he came back from World War II. It towered over the property now, a wide-branched sentinel that cast deep shade and deeper memories. He used to say, "Land shows the shape of a man's soul. Protect it." I took him seriously. My days fell into a rhythm the way rifle fire once had. I fixed fences. I tended stubborn plumbing. I cleared brush. My uniform was an endless cycle of faded t-shirts, the softest one bearing a barely visible Delta crest over the heart. I wore it like a second skin, not because I missed the war, but because I never wanted to forget the price of silence. Pine Ridge Estates sat just down the road, a planned neighborhood dressed in khaki-colored McMansions and HOA rules tighter than a rifle chamber. Officially, I wasn't part of it. My land lay outside their reach. But geography has a funny way of drawing invisible lines that some people love to cross. At first, I didn't notice them. I waved if someone passed while I was mending fences. I kept my head down. I wasn't there to make waves. But trouble doesn't always knock loud. Sometimes it creeps. I got my first taste when Lorraine Vance, a widow 3 doors down, showed up clutching a fine notice like it might burst into flames. $500. For her mailbox. Pine Ridge claimed it violated community standards. One problem: her house wasn't even on their map. I checked the plat records myself. Confirmed it. Then helped her write a firm but polite letter. A week later, the fine vanished. Lorraine brought me an apple pie so good I almost cried. That pie was the first shot fired. Arthur Remington, HOA president and retired CEO of some crumbling energy conglomerate, didn't like being wrong. He liked being feared. What he didn't know was that I had no more use for fear. I'd met real monsters. 1 week after I helped Lorraine, a black SUV idled at my front gate. Out stepped Remington, flanked by a realtor named Grant Davis and a third man who looked like he worked out just enough to stay useful. Remington laid out blueprints on my fence like he owned the thing. "We're widening the main road," he said, tapping a section that ran directly through Granddad's oak and part of the creek bank. "That's not happening," I told him. He offered money. I declined. He insisted it would raise property values. I reminded him that I wasn't in his HOA and that no amount of money could replace a tree planted by a man who survived Normandy. His smile didn't reach his eyes. The letters began within the week. Citations for non-existent noise. Accusations about my barn violating aesthetics. Fines in increments: $250, $500, $750. Each one angrier than the last. I wasn't a member. I signed no covenants. They had zero legal ground. But that wasn't the point. They were testing resolve. So I got a lawyer. Daniel Nguyen specialized in property disputes and didn't flinch when I laid out my stack of letters. "Classic HOA overreach," he said, leafing through them. "They want your land and they think pressure will crack you. You're not cracking, are you, Noah? Not even creaking." He told me to document everything. Install cameras. Get ready. So I did. 8 cameras. Night vision. Motion activated. Cables buried. Audio mics mounted. I even carried a pocket recorder when I worked outside. And it was a good thing I did. The first camera went out near the road. Sabotaged. Wires cut. I replaced it. Reinforced everything. Doubled coverage. Then came the trash. Caught on tape, Grant Davis and a Pine Ridge landscaping crew dumping bags over my fence. And Davis? Caught saying Remington's obsessed with this guy. Something about an old security contract we lost because of him. Suddenly, it clicked. Remington's company, Titan Protective. Years ago, I'd been on a review board that passed on them for a high-level Baghdad security contract. We flagged them for weak training and sketchy costs. My recommendation buried them. And now Remington wanted revenge. I sent the footage to Daniel. Sent a copy to County Commissioner Rosa Delgado. Then I learned more. Lorraine's grandson, a quiet teen who cleaned the HOA center, recorded a board meeting. Remington's voice crystal clear. Noah Briggs is a cancer. He's undermining order. I don't care about technical boundaries. He sets precedent. One board member pushed back. He shut her down. We have friends in zoning. Friends who can make life difficult. Then came the harassment. Water valves tampered. Anonymous complaints. Engine revving outside at 2 a.m. Headlights sweeping my bedroom walls. But I held. Then they went after Lorraine. Caught on hidden cam. Remington leaning against his SUV, sweet-talking her. Threats wrapped in smiles. You know, your taxes could go up. Houses that don't fit the community profile well, people start talking assisted living. I edited the video, blurred her face, posted it anonymously to every HOA member I could find. The firestorm was instant. Remington panicked. Then one evening, a board member named Emily Shaw came to my door. He's planning something, she whispered. He recruited 3 guys. Said they were community enforcement. They have fake uniforms. Badges. A fake warrant. I thanked her. Then I waited. 3 days later, they came. A white SUV. Bubble lights stuck to the top. Out stepped Curtis Barnes, Leo Marks, and Remington's nephew, Travis. All in matching blue shirts and fake badges. They knocked hard. I recorded everything. I called Sheriff Javier Cruz. Sheriff, it's Noah. I've got 3 impersonators on my porch. Fake uniforms. Fake documents. Part of an ongoing HOA harassment. We're on the way. 10 minutes. I opened the door. Curtis puffed up, handed me a warrant from Pine Ridge County. Didn't exist. Signed by Judge Abernathy. Also didn't exist. Let's see your credentials, I said. We're HOA enforcement, Curtis snapped. That's not law enforcement. I gestured to my cameras. You're being recorded. This is impersonation. A felony. Then my laptop chimed. Daniel appeared on screen. I've been listening the whole time. Texas is a one-party consent state. You boys are cooked. Sirens approached. They cracked. Told me everything. Remington had planned it all. Paid for their uniforms. Promised protection. When the sheriff arrived, they handed it all over. Then Remington showed up. This is outrageous. No, Arthur, Sheriff Cruz said, pulling out a real warrant. This is accountability. Commissioner Delgado showed up too. Announced a full county investigation. Within weeks, Remington resigned. His home hit the market. The HOA board was overhauled. Emily became president, issued me a formal apology, and confirmed I was outside their jurisdiction. Today, Pine Ridge is quieter. Neighbors wave without fear. A new sign hangs at my gate, private property. Trespassers will be dealt with accordingly. Retired Delta operator on site. Some men mistake quiet for weakness. That's their first mistake. I make sure it's their last.